even after the first time that I like slept with a guy, I was like, I don't know if I'm gay. Come on, that's pretty gay.
Hello and welcome to the Gay Bro Straight Sis podcast.
Hosted by myself, Sean.
And me, Sasha.
We'll be talking about pop culture, relationships, current affairs, and anything else that comes to mind.
And make sure to like, comment, subscribe so we can get to season 2.
Okay.
We best start the podcast off by introducing ourselves and what we do. So you can go first.
My name's Sean. I also run a gay travel blog outside of this podcast. But this is my sister Sasha. There's 10 years between us, and I thought it'd be really interesting to set up a podcast where we talk about our different perspectives in life.
Yeah.
I mean, you've stayed at home.
Yeah, I'm boring compared to them.
I wouldn't say that.
A lot of people would.
Give yourself a better introduction.
Okay, so I'm Sasha. I'm 26. Not that I want to be 26.
Oh yeah, and I'm 35, so 10 years between us.
Yeah. I work in finance. I live in North Wales. I see Sean every couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dog that lots of people love.
Yeah, so we're both originally from North Wales. I went to one extreme and moved across the world, here, there and everywhere. And Sasha went to the other extreme and just moved across the road.
That's literal, by the way.
So two very different perspectives of life, I would say.
I'm trying to get better.
You are, and hopefully this year we'll travel together.
Well, we are.
Oh, we are, yes.
We are.
Sasha's getting married this year.
Yep, and we're going to Ibiza.
Mm-hmm.
From Henry.
So, in Ibiza, it's to celebrate your hen,
Yes.
but you must find me a Spanish boy.
I don't know if it's going to be hard or not to find you. No, I think it.
I hope so.
Oh my god. Men, do not watch this podcast,
No,
please.
she can't watch it.
Please don't.
So for the first episode, we wanted to touch on the name of the podcast, Gay Bro Straight Sis.
I'm straight.
Oh yeah.
If that wasn't clear.
And I'm the gay one, if that wasn't clear.
Hence the flag.
Hence the flag, get some colour in here.
Yeah.
She's just straight in grey.
Let's guess whose the house is.
Yeah, so for the first episode, we wanted to reflect back to our shared childhood.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, you lived at home up until I was, 9, 10?
Yeah, so I left home when I was 18 to go to university.
So I was 8, 9, maybe then.
And yeah, you were 8, 9. So I was 10 when you were born, so between the ages, for me, 10 and 18, we grew up together, and then I moved away to university, and to be honest, we've not really ever talked about the environment.
Mm-mm.
The environment at the time of me growing up, being gay. I think it's just always been taken as a given.
Yeah.
And we've not actually, asked each other questions.
It's weird, really, that we haven't ever asked the questions, though. I don't understand, it's just not, I don't understand why we haven't, but we just haven't.
But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that says a lot about you, and it says a lot about Mum, and how content and accepting you were. You've not actually thought to think back and ask questions on was it straightforward and was it easy?
Yeah.
And those kind of things. I think, and I hope that this kind of conversation would be relatable to other siblings or other family members, and maybe encourage them to ask the questions that we might talk about today.
Because you might not think the answer that you get is what you were expecting.
And I think half the time you don't actually realise. A lot of people are good at putting a mask on.
Absolutely, yeah.
And covering up what's going on or how they're feeling. So, it's always good to have those conversations.
Yes. So let's get started.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I've always known Sean to be gay. I've never known him to be with girls or anything like that. So is there a point that you remember clearly that was that, oh, I'm gay, I think, or I know, where, when?
No. In short, I think it was a really complicated route to figuring out that I was totally gay, and I think.
So did you think at one point you were maybe bi, or just didn't?
I just thought. Do you know what I think I might have thought? Well, I'm quite confident I thought. I thought that everybody was straight, and also you could be attracted to men on top of it. So I think this is a bit of a revelation. Actually, I've never actually put this. I thought I was straight, but also attracted to guys. Like that was a real thing.
So like bi, but not that.
But not in that terms. I thought.
Okay.
I think it's because you brought up.
Well, you were not maybe so as much now.
No, but like
when you were growing up, maybe it was everybody was brought up that they were born straight. It was all even now though people I personally think that people are asked, if you're like a lad, it'd be like, oh, have you got a girlfriend? Or if you're a girl, oh, have you got a boyfriend? It's not, have you got really a partner?
Yeah.
Which I'm more actively saying now. I won't be like,
hello.
Yeah. I try and be like, oh, have you got a partner? Because I think it's built into us so much, unfortunately, to say it like that. It's trying to now make it the other way.
Yeah.
So now I always just say to anybody, oh, have you got a partner? Or
because otherwise you're forcing that person to come out.
Yeah.
And like most gay people have to come out every day at some point anyway.
And it shouldn't even be a thing. And I don't believe there should be a thing where it's, oh, how was your coming out story? I just think it should be like, oh, yeah, I've got a girlfriend or I've got a boyfriend. Oh, all right, who are they? Where have they come? Like,
exactly.
Why is there? I don't understand the need for this.
No. I mean, that could be.
It's so difficult for so many people.
You could do a whole thesis on that.
What does thesis mean?
Like a university study on that.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. But to answer your original question, when they find out a point, like I said, for many years, even into the first year of uni, I thought I was straight, but also attracted to men.
Okay.
So I thought I could live a life being straight because that's all I had ever been aware of. I did not know.
But you didn't want to be with girls?
I was never sexually attracted to girls. I thought as I got older it might happen. I was like waiting to get this feeling. You know when you're, well, not you because it wouldn't have been said to you, but when you're in your teens and you're told, oh, don't get a girl pregnant, I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I was genuine. I think even at the age of 16, because I did go to parties when I was 16 and kiss girls and stuff, but I never felt that urge to then go any further. And I genuinely believed at 16, 17, because I never ever saw any representation of gay relationships, that it just hadn't switched on in my head yet.
Right, okay.
Even though I could totally tell I was also attracted to guys, it was just never explained to me or given to me as an option that you could genuinely have a same-sex relationship. I just didn't think it was an option at all. So then I just went into uni with this assumption of well, I'm straight and I can appreciate what a pretty girl looks like, so maybe I am. I get it, but I didn't quite get it. And then I guess I probably didn't really realise properly until the end of the first year of uni. I got with a couple of different guys, and even then I was like, am I? Maybe I'm bi. I think a lot of people go through that stage of maybe this, maybe the other, questioning yourself. And then I think at the end of the first year of uni, that's when, with the support of university friends, I got to the point I was like, okay, yeah, I am gay.
Okay, so it was there wasn't a distinctive, it's just more of a gradual step-by-step growth.
Yeah, and I think in uni a lot of my friends knew.
Oh, okay.
Before I did, because when I told
your high school friends, did they know? When
they were more surprised because they'd grown up with me, whereas my university friends were meeting me at age 18.
And I think also you went to a city, which we live in a very, very, very small town.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I guess in a city there's so many different characters and different types of people coming from all over the country
that have more knowledge and awareness. So then I eventually, I guess, I realised, I think even after the first time that I slept with a guy, I was like, I don't know if I'm gay. Even though I just slept with a guy, come on, that's pretty gay.
you make me ruin this bloody blanket with my tea, I'm not going to be very happy.
So yeah.
So I've also always wondered with Sean how it was that he actually told our mum, and like how it went and what the situation was, how old you were and all that kind of thing.
Have we genuinely not talked about this?
No, I don't think we have.
That seems a bit.
We don't talk a lot, really.
Hey?
It doesn't seem we talk a lot about past. Well, there's reasons for that.
Yeah. Season 3.
Season never.
Right? Yeah, that's true. When we do talk, it's mainly about what's going on in the lives at the moment, not really in the past. But coming out was kind of boring, but in a good way. Good. You want it to be boring.
As I would expect from mother.
Hey?
As I would expect from our mother.
Exactly. But I had a boyfriend for 6 months, so it really felt like
couldn't leave it go on any longer.
Couldn't leave it go on any longer. I wanted to be able to talk about it. I, as a person, really struggle to deceive or lie. It's just not in my makeup. It makes me feel sick.
I'm the same.
Are you?
Yeah, I will be sick as well.
Like, I would rather like really offend somebody than lie to them.
Yeah. Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, I think so. So I wasn't comfortable. I think that's the case for a lot of LGBTQ people. They have to deceive and they have to hide and they have to rewrite stories of what they've done at the weekend when they're speaking to people, and it is exhausting.
It's very sad.
Just to protect themselves. Not that I needed to protect myself and mum, but it was still like obviously
something that was there.
The environment that we live in now, and even more so 17 years ago, the environment then.
Wasn't 17 years ago?
Yeah.
You're old. Jesus.
17 years ago.
Oh my god.
Was harder. But I just got mum a bit drunk.
Responsibly.
Just got her a bit drunk, made some strong vodkas, and then manufactured the conversation to take us to discussing girls at university that she knew I was friends with, to then make the statement to mum, well, I'm just not interested in this particular girl, and I just added on, or any girls at all, ...
Fancy.
I know, for the drama.
If you want to use that, you can. If you want to come out to your mum or dad, use that statement.
Exactly. Maybe we can do a whole episode on coming out tips and advice, and also places to go when it goes wrong, because unfortunately,
yes,
it does go wrong for some people, and there are resources out there and groups that can help. But yeah, I said that to mum, and then she was like, oh right. I think she was waiting for more from me. I said, and then I followed it up to say, I have actually been with somebody for 6 months, and their name is this person, which is obviously a male name. So I was like, connect the dots, don't make me say it, because it's still hard for some people to actually say the words.
I think the words have so much meaning behind it.
They're loaded.
It just must feel so heavy. So the way you've said it seems so much easier. Not that I've ever had to go through it, but no. I can imagine.
Well, yeah, if I was to ask you, so, when did you come out as straight?
Well, it didn't happen. It was just expected. Not expected, but...
Not even thought about?
No.
Because you don't have to?
No.
Or like, when did you realise that you were straight?
Just never. It's never even... never even in my head, because I think... I don't know.
Because you were...
Born that way!
Yes, exactly.
I was born this way. Is it born this way?
Born this way. Born this way, yeah. So yeah, and then obviously a little bit of a cry. Just the statement stuff like, oh, it's fine as long as you're happy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Pretty uneventful as it should be. And that was kind of that, really.
Mum's great that way.
Exactly. No drama.
Easy going.
No drama at all.
Takes it as it is.
So yeah, that is my coming out, and then I don't know how then you were told, because I didn't tell you.
No.
But I think Mum told you.
Yeah.
And you would have been how old?
I was in year 5, so 10 maybe. Well, if it was
if I was 18, I was 19.
Yeah, so 9 or 10 it would have been.
Yeah. Did you remember?
I kind of do. I remember like the basis of the conversation, but I don't remember like where I was or anything like that. But I remember something along the lines of, I don't think she like sat me down. She did it in like a very, just kind of like dropped into conversation. So it wasn't like a serious thing.
I think if you sit someone down, you're making it into a bigger deal.
Yeah, and you're putting more pressure and all that. So I think Mum just went, oh, like, I don't know, maybe I prompted something to ask about you or something, and then she said something like, oh, well, Sean's like not got a good. I think I feel like I said, oh, Sean got a girlfriend, because that was something, again, when at that point, that was what was in my head. Oh, Sean's straight, and it was just because that's how it was. We were brought up, but I think she said something like, oh, he's not got a girlfriend, and he never will have a girlfriend. And I thought, oh right. And then it was, it really, really does. And then she said something like, but he has got a boyfriend, and that was kind of in my head, like, oh right, okay.
Yeah.
And I never really questioned it, but I remember saying, oh, I don't want to tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody at school, and it upsets me now because I think, well, why? It literally does not matter. But again, different times, all that kind of thing.
Well, even in that society, and even today, but even more so back then, at the age of 10, media and society had instilled a sense of shame into you as a 10-year-old girl about your brother being gay.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been anything particularly overt. You wouldn't have watched TV shows with hate speech or anything like that. It would have all just been very subtle.
Very, very subtle.
Cues giving you this.
But then I'd say within, it sounds like a long time in a way, but also it doesn't sound like a long time. I think within like 2 years, I was very much like, oh yeah, my brother's gay. And then if anybody said anything, if I heard anything, I was like,
they would go back them. No violence in this house.
We don't do violence. I never will. Never have. But I was very much like, if I heard anything, if transphobic, homophobic, anything like phobic, I'd be like, if it's gonna hurt someone, don't say it.
Exactly.
It's not hard not to.
No.
Just keep your opinion to yourself. Your opinion's wrong. But yeah, I think within that 2 years, I was very much headstrong on backing you up, because I always thought if you heard it, I wouldn't want you to be upset. And I also think there's sometimes people hear these things, and that could be something that could set something off severely in them, for them to really spiral.
Yeah.
So
just because like words that wouldn't affect you, or maybe even wouldn't affect me, doesn't mean
it's not the
same person hearing it wouldn't. I think on social media, some of the really homophobic comments I get do not bother me.
Yeah.
But I know if another user on Instagram were to read that comment on my post, it would instill more fear into them, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, absolutely. Everybody's different. Everybody reacts differently to everything, so it's...
And that's just not good.
No.
But yeah, that was my coming out story, and your non-reaction, as it should be, for the most part.
So, do you think there's a specific time that you go back to and think, how did nobody know? So like when you were a child, and is it like obvious? The only thing that I can think of with Sean is pictures that I've seen and thought, were you all blind? Like it's obvious. Black heels and Catwoman suits.
Yeah.
Spring to mind.
Yeah, there's so many examples where I look back now and I'm like, that screams gay. It's not even like subtle. So yeah, there were plenty of signs. When Nanny used to look after me, she had like these gold curtains. So I would get the curtain, one gold curtain would be my long gold flowing robe, and I'd use the rest of the gold curtains to set up like a castle in the house.
Was that a castle?
Well, more like a palace. It was my little palace. I had a little doorway, and then I had this little key that I put on to a ribbon and mapped it around my wrist. That was the key to going to the palace.
Oh my god.
I just remember there's a picture of me, sort of like, I'm doing like this with my cape outside, like that. I mean, it's the campus thing ever.
Sean will try and plug it so you can see it.
And yeah, just everything. Like, I used to try and dress up as Cruella de Vil and like get this hat and then put a veil over it and put pegs on it to hold the veil on and put my mum's high heels on. Then I had my little Dalmatian and be like, put this like long cigarette thing from Auntie Julie and be like, yeah, Cruella. And it's just like, I'm like, come on. I could have not made this any more obvious.
What was the another thing I remember is the Batman costume.
Oh, there's a picture of me with the Batman costume turned inside out to make it Catwoman, to get rid of the Batman logo. So we're definitely signs. But you know what's interesting actually?
How old were you then though? 5, 6?
Yeah, between.
So let's just establish again. Born this way.
Oh, totally born this way.
Like it was.
Like.
I mean, I don't get how people say, "Oh well."
And even in like younger school, like really young school, like remember like noticing pretty boys, and things like that, just like little signs when I look back. But it's also like a bit, and it's not necessarily tied into being gay, but it kind of is. You know, like being open to playing with more things than just like action toys and stuff like that. I really liked all my figures and stuff. But I also remember, and I did get it, the Esmeralda doll for the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I gave it to you eventually. Did I? I think I did. You definitely played with it. But I really wanted this Esmeralda doll. But even at that age, I would have been 10, 11, 12, there was something that I knew meant it was not for me, or I was gonna be ridiculed for having it. I really wanted it, so I knew I really wanted it, but I knew I couldn't just have it. And this is at the age of 11, so I don't think I've told anyone this or mum or anything.
You didn't say it was for me.
No. I don't think you were born. You weren't born maybe at this stage.
When you were 11, I would have been.
Alright, well maybe this was at like age 9, 8 or 9. 8 or 9, I knew there was toys for boys and toys for girls, and these toys weren't quite for me, but I wanted them. So first, after watching the Hunchback of Notre Dame movie, I asked for the Quasimodo doll, because that was like a solid plastic doll. Do you remember the Quasimodo one? It was just solid plastic, so it wasn't like a Barbie or anything like that, it was solid plastic Quasimodo. I didn't really want that. I wanted Esmeralda, but and this is ridiculous at the age of 9, my plan was I can get this one because it's solid plastic first.
The thought behind this is mental.
Yeah.
For you to get a girl toy.
Yeah. I can get this one first because it's solid plastic, it's not really a doll. And then, because I've got that, I can then say, oh, I want Esmeralda as well, so he can rescue her. And then...
That's so sad. It's so sad of a story that you couldn't just say, I want Esmeralda.
Yeah, but I didn't feel comfortable enough to do that. And that wasn't like because of the family or anything, it was just the world we lived in.
Yeah.
But then to add to like, was it obvious you were gay, and not to like, not these two things are always synonymous, but then I used to get Nana to sew little dresses for Esmeralda. And again, like, come on, Nana, can you not guess that I'm gay? I'm asking you to sew little dresses to go on Esmeralda so she has different looks.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Did anybody else do this?
The signs are there. There's so many signs like that. It's a little bit the same with like all the figures that I had. Like I really wanted like all like the Poison Ivy and Catwoman and stuff like that, but then I'd have to get the whole set to have them and stuff.
Oh. I do think it's like not. I don't know if bad's the word, but when you look at all the like dolls and things, they're always in. Well, typically they're always in like pink packaging, and then everybody's like, oh, pink's for girls. Blues for boys.
Yeah.
I just think, well,
it's so flawed.
And so many people are like, oh, but that's what it is. I'm like, no, it's only That's what it is, because that's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
It's all taught. All the words that are in the world, they're created, and they're given a meaning, but they're given a meaning by somebody that they don't just come there and that's what it is. Somebody says, oh, this is what it is and this is who it's for. So why it's still mad that that's still a thing of, oh yeah, we'll give a boy blue.
And it's just like, I mean, this could be a whole other episode again, but like there's so many implications behind it. And you can say it's like, it's not a big deal, but like when you're giving, if you're just giving girls like the kitchen sets and the hoovers and the play irons and stuff like that, you are kind of telling them this is what you should be doing.
Well, I see it all the time on social media. So many like little girls, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, they're getting bought these kitchens. I've never seen the boys get bought kitchens.
No.
And I'm just like, well, hold on. I'm not living in a kitchen.
Oh, I also want a Disney like castle, this little castle thing.
Palace,
yeah. But I didn't get that in the end. But yeah, I did see on TikTok the other day, there's a little boy, maybe like 4 or 5, comes down the stairs, and he said, "Oh, I forgot to put something on my Christmas list to Santa." And they asked him what he wants, and he said he wanted the Barbie Malibu house. He just really wanted it, and then his auntie overheard and bought it him, and he was so happy when he got it on the day. But then obviously you read the comments on this video, and you can imagine what the comments are like. This boy is just so happy that he got given what he asked for, that he wanted, that made him happy. And then people commenting saying like how that should never happen. You should buy him a tank or whatever. I'm like,
why?
Chill out.
Shut up.
Like,
piece of shit.
Yeah.
You have commented that.
So yeah, in summary, were there signs? There were plenty.
So you briefly searched before on like what you had when you were younger. So we have now like Netflix and Prime and all that kind of thing, and there's so much representation on there of so many different types of relationships and all that kind of thing. Was there anything when you were younger that was there at all that you remember?
Not really. I think that goes back to the start when you said about like, when did I know I was gay? But maybe another question, like, when did I know gay was a thing?
Okay.
Because it just simply...
You said before you thought everybody was straight.
Yeah, I just thought everyone was straight, and like the representation was like really minimal in all media that you can imagine when I was growing up. So when I was like in my teens, there was the occasional story on like, say, Corrie, of the first gay kiss, but they made it into such a big deal. Like, it was the first gay kiss, and it's like headline news. And when you do that and you see that as a young person growing up, you're like, oh my god, why is this such a big deal? And then it like puts the fear into you, like, well, if I have a gay kiss, is it going to be a massive big deal and create all this drama? So that was sort of like the things I would say if it was like storylines and soaps. And obviously it was good that the soaps were doing those storylines. It was the media coverage of those storylines. It should have just been,
that's what it was, and then because they don't report that on every single story, do they?
No, it's not like, oh, Dave and Jill kissed. No one gives a shit. But if Dave and Dave kiss, then it's a problem.
Bizarre.
And then like it just really wasn't. It was just so the comparison is wild. And like, honestly, I think if I was 18 now, I would have probably come out when I was 15.
I was going to ask that. Do you think there'd be a time that you, like now, reflecting back, you would have known?
I think with all the information, education, knowledge, representation now, and don't get me wrong, it's still far from what it will be or could be. It's so much better than it was. And I say it's still far from what it could be and will be, is because actually it's still, if you have 1,000 films on Netflix, the percentage overall is very low.
Go
on.
No, I was going to say, would you say that the films that you see, are they like accurate in how, I don't know.
Say that again.
Are not the films or any of the programs on Netflix and Prime, are they like accurate in what they are doing?
Depict.
Yeah. Would you say?
Yeah, there is some really good TV series and films out there that do good at giving a realistic view into what it's like to be an LGBTQ person. Some of them are quite dark, but I mean that is kind of important.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for people to watch them to understand like what some people can go through.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you've asked that, because actually one of the conversations that I've seen on social media recently in like the gay sphere has been about Heartstopper, which is a lovely program with really good representation. But some gay people watching it don't enjoy it because they're like, it feels so unrealistic. Like me looking at that,
right,
and thinking that growing up like that and being like that in school, it seems so far from what's realistic or what I lived through.
Okay.
It's hard to relate to at all.
Yeah.
Where it's much easier to relate to the ones that have got like more struggles and stuff. So it is quite an interesting conversation around Heartstopper, whether people enjoy it or not. Some people enjoy it and it is lovely, and then some people struggle to relate to it because it seems so far from their reality.
Yeah.
But I hope that it encourages young people that are currently teenagers in school for that to be their reality and for them to create that reality for their peers.
Yeah. And it's all about education and your children as well.
Yeah.
And even adults. So many adults need to be educated. Tell you that much.
That's right, yeah. Shocking.
Disgusting.
That was a good chat then.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. I learned a few things. I didn't know that you had
a revelation.
I had a revelation. I didn't realise that even at age 10 you had sort of shame instilled you from what you'd seen, even though you'd seen nothing overt. That was quite interesting.
Yes. It was a good conversation.
And I feel like we've had some prompts for some other good chats.
Yes. Yeah. So if you liked it, I have to plug it. Like, comment, subscribe. And you can give us a follow on our socials as well.
Yeah.
Which we will... I don't know what you do. Sean will put them on the page.
Yeah. And then we can film more and Sasha gets to spend more time with me.
Yes.
Just, great.
Bonus. Hardly see him ever.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll
see you next time.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.